IICA has embraced accountability as one of the core values in seeking to strengthen the positioning of the Institute. The accountability process is therefore one of the key components of the Institute's integrated management system, which includes evaluation of institutional performance, monitoring, and follow-up of cooperative actions, audits, and the mechanisms for feedback and learning. It is against this background that this accountability seminar is being held this morning for three important purposes. First, it provides an opportunity for IICA to report on the achievements for the preceding year, and in this case, for a longer period, a few years, and to share some of the planned activities with key stakeholders and development partners. Secondly, it provides an opportunity for stakeholders and partners to be aware of what we are doing and also to be able to share some of what they are doing during the interactive sessions. And thirdly, it also allows us to be informed as to what we would want to do in the upcoming year, that is 2023. You're all aware that since 2020, we've been exposed to a number of crises which have far-reaching implications for the agricultural sector, food security, and the delivery of the technical agenda of the Institute. The COVID-19 pandemic, which I mentioned, and its impact, the current war in Ukraine, have caused a renewed focus on the issue of food security and the role of institutions such as IICA and our partners such as CARDI and FAO in the region. We at IICA have therefore had to adjust our approach to the delivery of technical cooperation and engage in a process of reassessing priorities in keeping with these global imperatives. One clear lesson to be drawn from the recent developments is that we can no longer leave our food security in the hands of others, but rather we need to develop greater food self-reliance through increased domestic production and increased productivity. The decision of the CARICOM heads of government to establish a target to reduce the region's food import bill by 25% by 2025 is an important positive step in seeking to achieve greater food self-reliance, and IICA stands fully committed to working with all CARICOM countries, including St. Kitts and Nevis, in achieving this end. Achieving enhanced and sustained food security will require strategies that go beyond some of the knee-jerk responses that we have pursued in the past, and will require that agriculture be prioritized for the long term and not just become a matter of attention during crisis periods. We therefore take this opportunity as we often do, to call for responses that go beyond short-term temporary measures to the adoption of medium and long-term strategies where agriculture and food security are held as national priorities. We are therefore pleased to see the approach being adopted by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis through pronouncements at the highest level to focus and bring attention to the agricultural sector and agricultural processing in an effort to achieve greater food security. Here in St. Kitts and Nevis, notwithstanding the disruption caused by COVID-19, the Institute, through its delegation, continues to deliver a technical cooperation agenda in close collaboration with our partners and, most importantly, the Ministry of Agriculture in both St. Kitts and Nevis. We've aligned our agenda to ensure consistency with the priorities established by the government, and as such, building a competitive, sustainable, and resilient agricultural sector remain a central theme of the IICA program. And this is clearly reflected in the main projects and activities being implemented at the moment. Over the past few years, the Institute has placed particular emphasis on delivering technical support through its Agricultural Climate Action and Sustainability Program, with a focus on addressing water security in the agricultural sector. In addition, the delegation has pursued actions under its Agricultural Health, Food Safety and Quality Program, the Territorial and Family Farming Program, and our International Trade and Regional Integration Program. As we celebrate 80 years as an institute and 30 years of operations here in St. Kitts and Nevis, we recognize the need to carry out a critical examination of our technical programs, our internal processes, and our modalities for implementation, to ensure that we are achieving the results and having the desired impact, that we are both efficient and relevant in what we do, and hence are responding to the most pressing needs within the sector, and that we contribute meaningfully to agricultural development, food security, and rural prosperity. Partnerships continue to be a key feature in our approach to delivering technical cooperation, and we wish to recognize and thank both our traditional as well as our new partners for joining us in our quest to support the development of the sector here in St. Kitts and Nevis. I wish to place on record our thanks and appreciation to the hard-working and dedicated staff of the Ministry of Agriculture, both in St. Kitts and Nevis, who we have worked close with, and our other partner agencies. And I also want to recognize the staff here in St. Kitts and Nevis, the IICA staff, and who have been working tirelessly to pursue our programs.
The Inter-American Institute for Cooperation and Agriculture has a very progressive vision statement. The last few words read, "To contribute to economic growth and development, as well as foster greater rural well-being." We are happy to associate with this vision, as we recognize that it seeks a holistic development of the agricultural sector. As a Ministry of Agriculture, we are grateful to our allied agencies, in this case IICA. Their presence and tangible support are invaluable to our sector. In-kind contributions, as well as efforts of capacity building for our farmers, agro-processors, other primary producers, as well as staff at the departments, we are very grateful once again, and we in turn must be responsible and accountable. On Nevis, sometimes I think we have benefited more than our fair share in assistance from the agency. Training opportunities in the areas of livestock, crop management, agro-processing, and in many cases, complementary equipment are sourced, even if it is with third-party funding. So Mr. Rollins, Ms. Jones, and Mr. Merchant at this time, I will recognize you. The Nevis Island Administration is grateful. We continue to welcome your support as the journey has always been challenging. We have the opportunity to create better linkages in other sectors such as social services, health and education. After all, benefits are for our people. This accountability exercise is integral in any work program, as it offers the opportunity to reflect on our actions, whether it be for learning or for success. Lessons are to inform our next steps. To borrow from the FAO World Food Day theme, our actions are our future. Honest, pragmatic accountability and responsibility must form part of how we operate. Knowledge is only beneficial when it is shared and applied. I say that in the context of decision-making in our world today. Decisions are no longer based on good or bad, or right or wrong. Decisions are based on advantage. Advantage for the decision makers or for their special interests. I say to all of us, let our farmers be our special interest. When farmers fail, we all fall. When farmers win, we all rise. As I close, I must say that since my appointment in this role on Nevis, I have found it necessary to be an advocate for the use and application of technologies in agriculture. Information, equipment, communication platforms allow us to work smarter, which should lead to greater output from our various farms. Innovation is also critical. We are often gifted with policies and procedures, and even mechanized tools that are necessary. We must embrace and be mindful. Even while we embrace the tools of the future, we have to engage in a level of customization that reflect our reality and our goals. I thank you for the opportunity to speak among the brilliant persons in this room who are poised to do great things for the people of this federation and the region. May it please you.
The government of St. Kitts and Nevis is on the verge of transforming agriculture. As this is clear with the recently completed growth strategy from 2022 to 2031. It is safe to say that we can't achieve this transformation alone, and we look forward to working with IICA and other allied institutions, farmers, fishers, and cooperatives, public and private partners to get us there. It is no secret that our food import bill is high, and with the recent COVID-19 challenges, everyone looked to agriculture to be our savior. An assessment was done to see how long we will be able to survive with our current livestock, crop produce, and the fish cod. The government responded by providing a stimulus package, which was somewhat unorganized, but we saw an increase in production. Then now we are back to normal. IICA stepped in and sponsored rabbits, which were donated to households for protein security due to the proliferative manner of rabbits. And the recent Rabbit Festival was a testament of that support that we had down at the St. Kitts Eco Park. However, we must no longer wait for things like these to happen, but must always think about the worst case scenario. A country in crisis will hold on to its food, and when this happens, we will suffer. The time is now for us to work together and address the underlying issues in agriculture. The Ministry of Agriculture is serious about addressing these issues, and it was just yesterday officers from the Department of Agriculture hiked for almost 3 hours to find a water source in the Far East area that we are looking to tap into. The water source, once finalized, will see over 100 acres in production of roots and tubers, pineapples, and other crops. If we are serious about agriculture, we must not ignore the issues like climate change and depend solely on traditional weather patterns. The Minister of Agriculture is serious about the 25 by 25 agenda, and work has started for us to achieve this goal. St. Kitts and Nevis is ready to feed itself and ensure food and nutrition security for everybody. However, we often look at reduction from just an increase in production, but there is still a lot of produce that never ends up on our tables. We can't have a country where only the importing class makes money. Therefore, we are going to work with the supermarkets, hotels, and restaurants to ensure that our farmers and fisher folks benefit. We are a small island nation, and our challenges are very similar across the region. The benefit of having institutions like IICA and other allied institutions is the opportunity to learn from each other and adopt best practices. 30 years is not a small number. It might be to some, but a lot to me, as I'm just 33 years old. This means IICA came to St. Kitts and Nevis when I was just 3 years old. I may not know exactly all that have been done by the allied institutions, but if we really peel back the layers, I'm sure we'll see the significant contributions. Let us give our allied institutions a round of applause. The interest that I'm seeing in agriculture makes me excited because I see how the young people are ready to adopt new technologies to feed our nations. As a young acting permanent secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture et al., I am vibrant and ready to move the sector forward. I'll end by saying we look forward to strengthening our partnership as we work together to guarantee food security. Thank you.